Jameson Williams is one of the most intriguing players in the entire NFL. He was one of the top deep threats in the entire league for college football and was considered to be potentially wide receiver 1 in his entire draft until he tore his ACL in the national championship against Georgia. That did take his draft stock ever so slightly, but he still was drafted at 12 by the Detroit Lions, trading up from 32. So clearly his value is there. So what can we expect from Jameson Williams as he progresses through a torn ACL and becomes an NFL player, and what will he bring to this new age of Lions offense? Let's get into the film and see exactly what we can expect. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. First, we will look at his raw skill. The first thing we hear about Williams, and notice on his tape, is his speed. He has an overwhelming burst, eating cushion like it's nothing and ultimately rendering it useless. His speed is so devastating that cornerbacks change their fundamentals to play against him, like flipping their hips with 5 yards of cushion, only for Williams to cut back. Corners are even willing to give up the entire inside part of the field just to protect against a fade outside the numbers, committing entirely to outside leverage. Yet another way Williams' speed changes corners' game plan is in press coverage, as very few corners are even comfortable enough playing press coverage against Williams, in the chance that he beats them and then can run right over the top of the defense. But Williams isn't just a fast guy. He understands how to alternate footwork and accelerate during routes to better throw off coverage, changing his steps in order to blow past a corner and get completely on top of a defense, including beating deep safeties. Not only that, but his speed obviously comes with the yards after catch upside that will push the Lions to the next level and relieve Swift and Goff, as well as add some versatility to this offense. Despite being a deep threat or being considered one, Williams doesn't necessarily lack play strength and is able to contest for balls in the middle of the field against safeties crashing down, which is very helpful. He isn't even a guaranteed tackle since he has the strength to blow through arm tackles and even take the occasional big hit like against Texas A&M. Jameson Williams also isn't limited to speed and strength either. Williams flashes the technical ability to vary his stars off the line, which separates good athletes from elite wide receivers and adds the technical part of being a receiver into his game. He also understands his speed and can use it against a corner, selling deep routes before cutting into a completely different one, whether that be a cutback or a different deep route. Williams also flashes the ability to use his hands, and his few snaps of him fighting through press coverage with his hands would open significant opportunities for him in the NFL, since corners are going to be much better than the ones he played in the SEC. He also has shown the ability to use his hands to make more effective cuts, swiping away a defender's hand when they try to latch on in man coverage or stop him from making too hard of a cut or losing their leverage. And while he does have the occasional drop and doesn't have tons of highlight reel catches or an elite catch radius, he still has the ball skills expected of a first-round wide receiver, so he's not anything to really worry about once he gets on the field for Detroit fans. Jameson Williams isn't just a fast guy. Yes, he'll be taking the top off defenses and beating your favorite corner deep, but he doesn't just offer that. He adds so much more, and when you consider that he splits outside in primarily a Z and sometimes an X position, he's going to be a perfect duo for Amon-Ra St. Brown, the breakout from last year from USC, because he plays in primarily the slot. So by adding those two together, you're going to get a lot of really interesting packages where you're going to be able to do a lot, because both of them are very versatile. You add them with a balanced pass attack to the run game that the Lions were posting last year, and we've got something to work with. So when you think about it, the Lions now have a duo of young, talented, and versatile wide receivers, a crushing offensive line, and a very strong run game, and added to that, Jared Goff, who thrives in run-first systems. What does that really remind you of? Perhaps the 2018 Rams, built in the style of the Lions, but with a very similar base. Great wide receivers who are able to do anything you really want them to, offensive line that's going to be able to keep the pocket alive, Jared Goff, who is a bridge quarterback, and hopefully they can get someone more talented, but in the meantime isn't going to hurt them as the system begins to grow around him. And of course, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, who are very good running backs in their own rights, and together make a dominant running force. So the Lions finally have an offense, and they might be able to do something like pass the Bears this year and finally earn some wins. And yeah, they will be in the look for a quarterback next year and might find someone like Will Levis or someone even further like Sam Hartman or Cameron Rising. But in the end, they're going to become a much better team. And I'm excited to see what the Lions do, because Dan Campbell has done a great job turning this franchise around. So I'm excited to see what they do next year, and we can only wait for now, because Jameson Williams is still recovering from an ACL. But once he is fully recovered, I'm scared of what he's going to do to opposing secondaries. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed.